broadcasting live by the light of a single swinging bow, deep in an underground bunker marked only by a nondescript entrance, somewhere in rural Oregon. Don't even try to find him. Don't even try. Here's Larry with this week's guest. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Leo's Coast to Coast.
Hello, everybody, wherever you may be, from coast to coast and from sea to shining sea. Welcome to the Leo's Coast to Coast Special Edition show right here. It is an honor to have you all here. Thank you so much for joining us. I see Tennessee. My goodness gracious, we got Tennessee. We've got we got Texas here. We got New Jersey. Taylor, Michigan is here. Check this out. It's amazing. Linda Broyles, hello from Tennessee. Hey, Linda, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Karen. Hi, Karen. Donna. Donna's here. Hi, Karen. Y'all are here to see someone pretty special, so I don't want to waste your time. Don't want to waste your time here. So we're just going to put him right on the screen. There he is. How about that? And that is how it's supposed to be right there. Okay, except for the Donnie Ray Campbell part. There you go. We'll just delete that part right here because Donnie Ray is not on the show. We're going to put Captain Bill Burt on the screen. How about that? Captain Burt, how you doing, buddy?
Good, doing really good. Sorry it's so dark in here. I tried to brighten it up a little bit.
Oh, no, it's fine. You're fine, buddy. You sound good. You look good. You just came back from a great vacation. I know that, right?
I did. I really did. I always like flying just to get there quick, but when you have the time to be able to take some extra days and see the country, I mean, man, this nation has a lot to offer. There is beauty everywhere you look.
And you went to a place that I truly, man, I would give anything to go to. You went to the Corvette Museum, man, with your kids. How cool is that?
It just turned out to be kind of one of those things that was pretty close to being where we wanted to go anyway, and never really expected it. You just one of the things, you're driving down the highway and there it is, and think, man, we're here. Let's do it.
Yeah. Wow.
And then I kind of had forgotten all about how they had that big sinkhole in 2014, and so all of the cars that got crashed or wrecked or ruined in that, they have them on display there. So that was a pretty impressive undertaking to get those out of there and back up onto the surface and fill in that hole.
Oh boy. Wow. What a trip though, with your kids too. Valerie Lewis, nice comment from Valerie. We already miss you. How about that?
Oh, well, we're really hoping that it's only just a couple months, just a short little break, helping us get caught up on things that we have going on in our office and getting some guys trained up and so we can utilize our FTOs to get back on the show. Right now, we really need a lot of them to get our new guys through the FTO programs, and it's kind of a slow time of year here anyway. So if we're gonna take a break and do something different in a rotation, this is a perfect time to do it.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you've got time, I don't know if you got some time to do this, to take some questions. There's right now 11 people in building, I'll put it that way, that are just coming into the room. 10 now, but there's lots of people with questions for you. You want to take a few?
Sure.
There you go. All right, you got some questions for Captain Bill Burt. Bonus episode. Here you go. Valerie Lewis, welcome, Stevensonville, Texas. How about that? Did I say it right? Stephenville, Texas. Hi, Valerie. Good to have you. Peggy Shaver, great word from Peggy Shaver. Says, Captain Burt, can't wait to see you again on Live PD. That seems to be what a lot of people are saying here. What was it like to be on Live PD? Talk to us about that.
The first couple times I was on, it was a bit nerve-wracking. Being a fan of the show and seeing what was going on across the country for the first 3 seasons. I had some guys that I really liked watching. Soroka, man, he was my favorite, and just the calm, cool demeanor of that guy, and the way that he just treats people well. And Musket, another guy, just like Ross. I mean, that was super cool, just being able to just seeing how different people do things. So when all of a sudden having the opportunity to go out there and kind of showcase what we did. At first, it was pretty nerve-wracking, just being afraid of, you don't want to trip over your shoelaces or say something stupid or get caught in an unusual situation. The camera crews that they had out, I ended up working with two of them. The one that initially came here, those people are true professionals, man. They made it easy, put my mind at ease about all of this stuff, and just let me go do my work. And I think the biggest piece of advice I got from them is, don't do anything you normally wouldn't do, and conduct business as usual. And once I realized they really meant that, it really got easy.
There you go. We're live with Captain Bill Burt, bonus episode of Leo's Coast to Coast. No phone calls here, folks, but you can put them on the screen. We know the phone works. That's a good thing. It's like testing. It's pretty cool. Here's a really good question that came up, and I loved it because it's something a lot of people ask. One of them, Linda Broyle, said, loved seeing all the wildlife you guys have there. Tons of people can't wait to see you again on live PD. And yes, looks like Texas is in the house. There we go. As we see on Saturdays. Stacy K with a great question. Hello, Captain Burt. What was your most unusual call?
Well, I think the most unusual one was probably the guy in the hotel room or in the hotel hallway. I think it isn't that we haven't dealt with calls like that before. It was just knowing that the whole crew was there. That was a pretty unusual one. Oh gosh, off the top of my head, I think outside of the show, I think probably the most surreal call I've ever been on, or the most unusual one, was a year and a half ago in July when we were out in the mountains searching for a missing 5-month-old baby, and Deputy Jessup, and 1:40 in the morning, ends up essentially tripping over this baby, and to pick him up in 40-degree weather after he'd been out there for 9.5 hours, to find him virtually uninjured was that probably goes into the category of the most unusual, the most amazing, the most surreal. It hits it checks all the boxes as far as calls go.
Boy, no kidding. Yeah, no kidding. And a famous story too, because that went live all the way through, news outlets, United States. It was all the way through. It went international. I saw the same thing in, what was it? It was in Great Britain. I saw it in France.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Japan.
Incredible. Japan. Japan.
It was all over the world for sure. It was definitely not the expected outcome from where we started out. You could have, if you would have asked for the best case scenario, I wouldn't have thought it was going to be that, but it was sure nice to get a win for a change.
Oh, no kidding. Hey, Linda Broyles, by the way, question for you. Going to Boise in July, how far is it from Boise to Missoula? About how long would that be?
It's about a 10-hour drive.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good trip. It's take up one full day for sure.
Very scenic too.
Incredible, especially if you come up through the Highway 12 corridor. It's absolutely incredible. The changes in scenery and the winding roads and you wouldn't regret that.
Well, and so folks, here on Leo's Coast to Coast today, we have Captain Burt. He's actually driving. He's going to go meet his son. They're going to spend some time together. And he's been kind enough to help us out with the Skype test. And I have led him on to believe we're doing it, and we're doing it, and we're doing it, and we're doing it. And something would continue to come up. And this man's so patient. Thank you for that, because it's been...
Oh, no problem.
It's been just crazy here with my schedule and getting a chance to do this. So thank you. You're such a gift, and I really appreciate you.
Oh, happy to help. I appreciate what you're doing. This has been a great way to connect to other. On my road trip out to Huntsville, I got an invite from Daryl Ross. My boys and I were invited to his home and to go visit with him and find out that these guys these guys that watch the show and are on the show in different parts of the country appreciate us as much as we do them, and that's a neat thing. And you know, it's for you. You are really out there, you know, making a connection for us. You're helping us make those connections, and so, man, I appreciate what you're doing. I love it.
Well, to God be praised for that, man. I mean that with all my heart. This is a labor of love, and this jump to YouTube is one of the biggest leaps of faith I've ever made, because didn't have the money to do this. So we're just praying that everything comes together and the finances come out. There's a tip jar right here. A tip jar right here. It's empty, but by gosh, I know Live PD Nation will help fill this thing.
I'll start it off. I'll start it off.
I'm gonna keep it right there in the background. Wait, it's gotta be in sight. There we go. Let's get in sight.
Exactly.
All right.
Well, I have to tell you, from the last time I was on here, you know, was happened to be connected all through the similar app, and this just being able to pull up my phone and pull over on the side of the road. The clarity of this is much better. The sound is much better. I think if you maybe try to get some feedback from some of those that are listening or watching right now, I think you'd probably get some of the same feedback. This is really good.
Oh man, thank you so much.
We're a little dark.
It means a lot to me. Thank you, man. No, I really do mean that. Here's a great question from Jill Bemmy. I love this question. She said,
Jill who?
Linda, bless your heart. Jill Bemmy. Jill Bemmy.
Yeah, I talk to her all the time I text her Twitter or whatever you call it, back and forth with her all the time.
Yeah.
Hi, Jill.
Hey, she's got a question. She says, how do you guys manage to work in the cold? I have to give you props for that. I'm not sure how our police officers here up here do it, because she's up in Ottawa, Ontario. So she's like, well, so how do you guys deal with it when you get those 40-degree days below zero with wind chill? How do you do it?
You know, it's just a matter of acclimation. It's so strange, and anybody can do it. I was born and raised in a community where it's known for being frigidly cold, and I'd come to a place like Missoula or Helena, or you know, a place that was just slightly warmer, and I was in a t-shirt. Everybody else was freezing. Being down in Alabama a couple weeks ago, I was running there on shorts and t-shirt in 50-degree weather. People thought I was crazy. I think it's just a matter of acclimation and getting yourself used to it.
Yeah, I was in Minnesota in youth ministry for 2 years, and it was the first time I ever felt my pants go stiff. and your nose hairs start to freeze in your nose. It's just a weird, if you've never felt it before. Oh my god.
It is a strange sensation, yeah. Yeah, you know, layering, just, you know, be prepared and dress in layers, and you know, you can't invest in good clothing. That's all I can say. It's well worth it.
Yeah. And the summers are so worth it there. Oh, you're in Missoula, you're in heaven. You really are. Linda Broyles, bless your heart. You know what? It's my honor. I've always told the Live PD folks, it's always been my honor. Thank you for the kind words and the sound. Bill, you know, how long have you been in law enforcement? And could you tell us a little bit also about some of the stuff you've dealt with in your life, you know, because it is a job where you have to work holidays. It is a job where you miss birthdays. How have you dealt with all that? You know,
I started in my first full-time position in 1992. And, you know, it was a lot of years before I ended up having kids. My oldest son was born in 96. So I just had 4 or 5 years on before I got into that. And I've been really fortunate over the years. I've worked with some good people that have stepped up and you know, helped the guys who had kids stay at home. And so I've really, as a captain, that's why I'm out a lot. I try to work for the guys who have kids and give them the time off. So I've been really fortunate. Not everybody has. I know they do miss a lot of time, and you miss the birthdays and miss the holidays and miss the weekends and the school plays. And I've just been fortunate. I worked for a sheriff that, you know, allowed me to go down and be a Little League coach in my uniform. So, you know, on shift, on duty. It's just, I got to be involved. And so, you know, have a 13-year-old umpire yelling at you while you're in uniform. I guess you just have to take it. It's kind of funny, but that's the way it worked out.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
You know, It's it's had its ups and downs for sure, but definitely been some difficult times, some emotional times. I tend to, when people are experiencing a loss, I tend to get emotionally involved in these, and it's I lost my mom to a boating accident in 2006. I understand what it's like to suffer serious and catastrophic loss, unexpectedly, and so when you see another family going through that, it just a little piece of your heart breaks off for them, and I think that sense of just having a sense of compassion and understanding has served me well.
Well, and I think one of the things too that some people don't know about you is you are also in charge of being one of the county coroners in your job as well. How does that job affect your life? I mean, you've seen things that thankfully we haven't.
Yeah, that's it's funny because I never wanted to be a coroner. I kind of was forced as I promoted, I was forced to do it. And there's nothing I've done has been more rewarding. And, the gook and the yuck that goes along with it is nobody wants that, but it's being able to help people navigate those difficult times. And there's been very rare instances out of the hundreds and hundreds of coroner cases I've worked over the years that, the family didn't come back at the end and not of their own volition to come back and say, thank you for doing that, or thank you for helping us understand. And you don't even realize it's happening at the time. It's the most recent, of course, we're losing the two young guys in the avalanche, and just being connected with those families and helping them navigate the whys and the what next. And it is by far the most rewarding aspect of my job, and never would have expected it to be.
Wow. Live with Bill Burt from Missoula County. They're just taking a hiatus. They're coming back. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Great comment by Peggy Shaver. I love this, Peggy. This is great. I used to live in Truckee, California. It's very cold there, just like Missoula, Burr. I've been in Truckee. I know it. And you're doggone right about that, Peggy. It could be crazy cold in Truckee. Tammy Basham in Texas. What's the doggo's name that was with y'all on vacation?
That's Mia. Mia is Jackson's dog. I got Mia for Jackson for Christmas about 3 years ago. We had to put our family pet down, and he's a big animal lover. I never thought I'd have another dog again, and it's just too heartbreaking when you have to let him go. And Jackson he really wanted a companion when he went off to college, and so Mia, he ended up with Mia, and she's I'll tell you, that dog is smart. She needs a job, and she's a great companion for him. I'm glad we got her.
She needs a job. That's an awesome quote. That's funny. Thanks, buddy, for that. Cammie Miller, she says, hello, sir. Thank you for running towards danger while we run from it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So Truckee, California, just a interesting little side note. When we had our Christmas break, we ended up switching camera crews, and the new camera crew that came in, fabulous people. One of the guys from that crew was from Truckee. And so we talked a lot about Truckee, California.
Yeah, it's, the big story of that area is the Donner Party. For a lot of people who don't know the story, it's, pioneer days. The stories, they had to cannibalize each other to survive. They were on their way to San Francisco, and they got stuck in a snowstorm, and they literally died up there. Not all of them, but most of them. And they survived off of, kind of eating each other. Anyway, good thing from Tammy Basham, bless her heart. She says, the little dog, she's a beauty. She's a beauty. Kind of like the Tubes. Tammy, you made me think of the song by the Tubes. She's a beauty. Anyway. All right. Some good questions here for you. And it's cool that they're doing this. Jill Bemmy says, wintry Winnipeg, we call it up here in Manitoba. And I loved Jill's point. There was a question that was put up here where we were talking about Texas heat, being in the 90s, and being in the 60s and it being cold. And so then Jill comes back and she says, when it's in the 60s, we turn up our air conditioning.
I understand.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that comment. That's great. Oh, hey, if you got some final questions for Captain Bill Burt, please put on the screen. We are very, very grateful to do that. That's great. Cammie Miller with a really good question that a lot of people are wondering. What's the best line of BS you've heard by someone trying to get out of trouble?
I don't know if it was BS or not. And it was a long time ago. It was back in '92. I had stopped a guy that was speeding, and he was actually working his way up a kind of a hill just on the edge of town. And he was really cooking along too. And as I got out of my vehicle and walked up to the truck, it was an older Chevy truck, and there was some liquid pouring out between the door and the rocker panel. And in those older trucks, man, it was pretty common to see that happening when somebody spilled their beer. And so I was pretty sure I knew what I was walking up to. And they're trying to set their beer down by the door. And so when I got up to the door, the guy stuck his head out the window and he said, "I'm sorry." He says, I know I'm speeding, but my colostomy bag broke and I'm trying to get home. Well, I never did do too much investigation to find out if that really was the case or not. It was Godspeed, man. If that's the case, I'm not gonna.
Please, sir. Move
so
along.
whether or not that was real, I have no idea. But it was probably. If it wasn't, it was a great one.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. Oh man, hey Cammie, and you're not far from there. Cammie Miller, she lives in the Spokane Valley. She says, if you ever make it to Spokane, let me know. Lunch is on me. So there you go. That's pretty good.
I will.
Anytime free lunch.
I will be there on Friday.
How about that?
I've got my dad lives in Spokane, and so I've got a young man named Roland that lives over there that's been following us, and Roland really doesn't have much of a male figure in his life, so I've got some stuff for him that I'm going to bring over and meet with him this coming Friday.
Bless your heart, man, and thank you for sending what you sent to Bob. That's so cool, and
oh yeah,
he loves it. He absolutely loves it. He had chemo today. I think today is the last one. Hopefully, they're going to make the decision to do either the radiation ablation or let him just continue with the tumors and just keep on hitting him with chemo. We'll see. There was something here I wanted to show you that's on screen. You have a chance to go on YouTube. I'll leave this up for you. It's really nice. Jill Bemmy says, thanks a lot for coming on with us today. We appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely.
Valerie Lewis, great comment about the colostomy bag. I wouldn't be doing any investigation on that one either.
Yeah. No, I just, whether it was true or not, if that was or wasn't the case, it was $1 million statement if that's it. He was on his way.
And Peggy Shaver, she comes out with, thank you so much for sharing your time with us today. We love it. Captain Bill Burt, we appreciate you very much, and we miss you, man. We really do.
Oh yeah,
we miss you so much.
I miss it too. It's hard to be home and sit there and watch it on Fridays and Saturdays now, man. It's you just want to be out there but it's if we're going to take a break, now is the perfect time to be doing it.
Well, that brings up something. Tell folks about this, because I think most of the viewers don't know this. When the show was in Missoula, you actually put in your off time to be on the show, didn't you?
Yeah, I adjusted my schedule quite a bit, and we're not a huge agency. We have 57 sworn. About half of those are in the patrol division, and only about half of the ones in patrol were interested in. Not everybody wants to be in front of a camera, is willing to get out there, and I was really grateful for the guys who were, and I respect the guys who didn't, but they do a lot of pre-records, so our crew was out there 6 days a week, and our guys were really putting in the time, and to be out there during the hours when things are happening, I had completely readjusted my schedule, and I still had my other job to do as well as an admin captain, and so but it was all worth it to me. I'd keep on doing it. and there's no bigger fan of the show than our sheriff. Sheriff McDermott he's the reason I'm a fan of Live PD.
You know what? We need to get him on. I've got to make that call, and I promise I will. I'm going to call Sheriff McDermott because I'd love to have him on. And I know a lot of people here would be very, very excited to talk with him because he's such a nice man. He's got just a level head. If you could get an idea of somebody who is just really, really kind and a guy that has compassion but also wisdom, he's the guy. He's really good.
Yeah, and just he brings a level of common sense to what is a very political world and a very political job. You can't bow up your back on everything, but he has struck a good middle ground and takes care of his deputies. Equipment and training are his number one priority, and he's going to give us the tools to go out and do the job. And we're as well trained and well equipped as anybody, but then you have a lot of different aspects, different parts of the community that want to see different things from their law enforcement. He strikes a really good balance with that too, and it's nothing's ever strictly political. Never sacrifices our safety or our knowledge, our ability to do our job. He's always out there for us, but he's striking that balance and finding a way to make things work for everyone. He's a good dude.
Well, he's got some good people too. I mean, he's hired well. And I believe that he's built himself a solid team there that he can trust. And I think that's why you were there. Tammy Basham, bless you and the department for sharing y'all's policing with us. It means a lot to people to do that. And I think what happens is people do bring you into their homes and you kind of become part of their families. And that's kind of how this works. I think whenever someone leaves, it's like a part of them hurts so much because hey, they were used to having you in their living room. So being off the show must almost feel the same way because it was like a normal thing for you.
Yeah. Somebody's just sent me a Facebook request. So sorry, I clicked confirm and it knocked me over to Facebook. It really is. And in some of these cases, I've had some fun with stuff. There's you get a message or a email or something from somebody who just strikes you in the right way, and it's fun to reach out and throw a surprise at them, and to look up a phone number. You get a message that so and so's birthday or something, and I've called a couple people just out of the blue and said, "Hey, this is Bill Burt calling from Missoula. Just wanted to wish you a happy birthday." And and it's funny to see the response to that because I'm just the regular patrol, the regular patrol guy. There's been no glitz and glamour involved in this job ever.
But it's the thought, it's the thought of doing it that makes the difference to them because you do mean something to people. They've seen you on television. They've seen you help people. They may have heard the story about the baby being saved. I think that's fantastic. Good for you, man. Good for you for doing that. That's really cool. Fun. You're getting so many great comments on that. Cammy Miller from up in Spokane, she got a great question. What's the fastest speed you ever had to do during a chase?
155. It was a motorcycle pursuit, and I think that there's a good chance that'll be on PD cam in this coming season. But the guy was he was cooking right along. It took me a while to catch up to him. He was already being chased by the Highway Patrol, and it was just something that came right in my direction, and it went for about 13 miles at 155 miles an hour, as fast as my Charger would go.
Wow!
And I think he was going 154 because it took a long time to catch him.
At 1 mile per hour, just kind of catching up at one.
Yeah.
Wow!
Even at 155, I just those 2008. When the Chargers first came out, they didn't have a governor on them. They would go until power wouldn't allow them to go up anymore. And the Chargers over the years, they've had different speeds on them, 152, 153, and this one it would govern out at 155. But yeah, that's moving. Those little 13-foot white dashed lines in the middle of the road go by really fast at that speed.
My sis is watching. Cello. Hi, Cello. Oh my gosh. How's your
Hello.
mom? How's your mom? Pray for Cello's mom, everybody. She's been really sick, and she just had her birthday this last weekend. So we say lots of prayers for Cello's mom. Peggy Shaver, I got to get back to this one. Peggy Shaver and she says, I want a contest from your department. I'm still waiting for my prize. Peggy, they'll take care.
I just sent out a bunch yesterday. I got really far behind. I had a person that was helping me with this, and she's been on vacation, and so I just ended up sending out about 20 yesterday, and then I got about 4 more out in the mail. If you don't hear from me, I will get to it. Don't hesitate to pester me.
There you go. There you go.
I will make it happen.
That's good. Sheriff Bill, I got Captain Bill Burt here. Question, I think from Peggy Shaver as well. Tell Sheriff McDermott his live PD magazine is on its way. So there you go.
Excellent. All right.
Pretty cool.
I'll do that.
Pretty cool. And lots of great things. Just so many nice things. Here's a great question. I'll get last question in here for you from people. And this is something I think that's really a neat question from Stacy K. She says, in your opinion, what's the best 4-wheel drive vehicle? I mean, you'd know. You live in a real snowy area in the winter. What do you recommend?
It's really funny you mentioned that, because I'm sitting in a vehicle that I bought just about 2 hours ago, and I bought a used 2015 GMC Sierra, and so this is kind of my first couple hours in it. I've had different opinions over time. We used to have a really difficult time and a really tough time with Fords, but anymore, the Ford, the SUVs I'm talking in an application where they're being used a lot and hardly ever shut off and kind of abused, and they've been spectacular for us as of late. We've had a number of Chevy trucks and Dodge trucks as well. The Dodges have been outstanding. We have hardly any maintenance problems with them, but I'm still partial to the Chevys, and that's just an opinion. The Chevys, nothing rides or drives like a Chevy, but it's just a personal favorite for me.
If they could mate somehow the Cummins diesel engine to the Dodge, to the GMC Chevy Allison transmission. Oh,
I know, right?
What a perfect combination. Gee, that'd be great.
Yeah. The whole chassis, the drive. Yep.
Yeah, that would
exactly.
be great. So we're going to let Captain Burt go because he's got some time with his son coming up. Captain Burt, anything you want to say to Live PD Nation? This has been a favor he's done for me. And first of all, let me say to you, thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing it. Thank you very, very much.
No, I'm happy to do it. We can do these sound tests whenever you want. I like doing them.
Bless your heart.
I think the biggest thing that I'd like to say is that I've received nothing but kind and generous and warmth throughout the whole time. I was kind of warned by the camera crews not to worry and not get caught up in the trolls, so to speak, and the people who were out there looking just to try to create some type of conflict. Since we came on in September, I've not seen that. I think this show really, the type of people that become fans of the show and watch it and get really involved with it. I just haven't seen that. So that's one of the biggest reasons I like doing it. It's just the quality and the character of people that are involved in the show and watching the show and support the show have been incredible. Just we in Missoula really, really appreciate the support. We do have a lot of, we have a lot of things that go on here, and it can be busy, and there's a lot of serious crime that goes on, and it just happened that during the time, the 4 or 5 months that we were on, it was strangely slow. We didn't have an opportunity to showcase a lot of that, but did have some interesting animal calls and some funny, just some funny different little things happen, and every one of us just really appreciated the support and the kindness that all the Live PD fans showed to us.
There is a thing called the Live PD Zoo. I don't know if you know that or not. There's been pig. Okay, we have a pig. We have Dave Moreno with his ducks. We we have who by the way we got a confirmation today from Lieutenant Kennedy is coming on, and that's gonna be on the 21st of March. And his parents had like a farm zoo kind of thing. He called it their zoo, and they have a zebra. They had a zebra, so there you go. And it's pretty cool. So some final comments from folks. Cammy Miller, we appreciate you all and have your six. Sybil Brooks, hello, Captain Bill Burt. Thank you for your service. And the bear was the best. From Jill Bemby. The bear
Which one?
was the best. There you go. See, I mean, you're in bear country, and that's the way it is there. You're used to it, right? Kind of like where
we had the bear in the closet, the bear that chased Christine into the garage, and then of course the bear that was trying to get into the hospital.
Okay, well, maybe it's maybe just had a bear of a time that day. Done. All right. With that note, we'll let you go. Thank you, Captain Burt, so much.
Absolutely.
Bless your heart,
Absolutely.
man.
It's my pleasure. Anytime, Larry. I like doing this, so don't hesitate. Short notice. Get somebody cancels. You need somebody to jump in. Just I'm a little slow on text, but I'll answer a call at any time of day or night.
Bless your heart, buddy. We got 18 people watching right now because of you, sir. So thank you.
Well, it wouldn't happen if you didn't put it all together.
Oh man,
this is a very cool program you got.
Well, to God be the glory, man. Thank you. Hey, thanks, buddy. Have fun with your son tonight.
Will do. Yeah, we're going to have a good time.
All right, very cool. Hey, everybody, see you later. On Saturday, we'll catch up with you with a really fun deputy. Deputy Charles Duvall will be here, and there goes the phone. Deputy Charles Duvall will be here. Why not? Hang on. You got a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, why not? Here we go. Wow, really? They're watching? Couldn't be. Hello, you're on Leo's Coast to Coast show, and you're off the air. Nice to meet you. Never mind. All right. So anyway, we'll catch up with you guys on Saturday with Deputy Charles Duvall from Williamson County, Texas. Maybe, just maybe, we might have a little dog sighting there. I think we will. I think we'll maybe see Canine Cato. But until then, be good people, folks. We'll see you Saturday at 2 p.m. in the East on Leo's Coast to Coast. Be good people. And Captain Bill Burt would say,
I really appreciate this, Larry. Thank you very much.
Bless your heart. God bless you guys. Be good people. See you soon. Bye, everybody.
Take care.